With the pre-sports festival events closing, the main event would soon begin. Izuku regrouped with the rest of his kids, and they arrived at their VIP spot. It was a special booth around the top of the arena, covered with reinforced glass that would allow them to see the events of the festival just fine, but would also keep them safe. "Kiba, are you okay?" Izuku said, taking a close look at his third daughter. "Yeah," Kiba groaned. "My minions were a bit more enthusiastic than I thought. I'm just really tired." "Fu, keep an eye on her," Izuku ordered. Fu nodded and helped Kiba up to her seat. "Alright everyone, take your seats, the race should begin in seconds," Izuku instructed everyone. "Remember this glass is thick so you have to cheer extra loud if you want them to. BRRRRRRRRR. BRRRRRR. Ah, give me one moment." Izuku excused himself as he went to the back of the room to answer his phone. "Hello? Everything's good so far, sir," Sai reported from back at the Foundation facility. Izuku had asked her to call him every hour to update him on how things were going back at home. "All the children are accounted for, and no intruders have been detected." "Good, keep up the good work," Izuku commended her, before hanging up. "Alright, time to enjoy myself. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX was seeing all the interesting uses of amazing quirks by his kids. And right now he got yet another up-close look at the versatility of quirks. Immediately as the race started, Ochako, Todoroki, and Ida shot off in front of everyone else, while the other students used every trick they had to try and keep up. Things only got more complicated as things went on, as the massive zero-point robots were introduced. Todoroki paid them no mind. He continued riding on his trail of ice and froze whatever robot was in his way, as well as the entirety of the floor around him. This caused some trouble for Ida, as his legs were frozen to the ground. Ochako on the other hand simply jumped over the ice and used her quirk to glide over it with ease. And so, things panned out exactly the way Izuku expected. Ochako and Todoroki competing for first while everyone else tried for third. He'd hoped Ida might be able to rival them, if only in speed, but with so many obstacles keeping him from reaching top gear, that was likely too much to ask. Ochako was overall faster, however, Todoroki had an easier time getting past obstacles without losing speed. It didn't take long for the two of them to start approaching the finish line. They were neck and neck, and whoever fell behind now would be the one who'd be taking second place. Todoroki covered the floor in ice, in an attempt to slow Ochako down for even just a second. However, Ochako saw this coming, and the moment the ice touched her feet, she smashed it with all her might, creating a massive shock wave and sending chunks of ice flying everywhere. One of these chunks hit Todoroki in the face, causing him to lose his balance, and fall to the side, off of his trail of ice. And with that, Ochiko's victory was sealed. She ran into the stadium across the finish line, to roaring applause. And in first place is Ochako Uraraka. Present Mike shouted over the roaring masses. Yeah, she did it. Shiruka cheered, screaming at the top of her lungs. Of course she did, was there ever any doubt, Kiba stated confidently. I'd expect no less of the girl wanting to get with our bro. Yaba smiled down at Ochako, giving her an approving look. Izuku just sighed. Shiruka, this is getting old. You will never stop me, Shiruka responded smugly. Izucha lives on. Of course, she gave it a name, Fu said, rolling his eyes. Keep going, Ms. Ochako. Win it all. Netsu shouted, his fire getting more intense as he got more and more pumped up. Destroy them all, aka cheered. The mood was absolutely jubilant in the booth, as pretty much everyone celebrated the success of Izuku's closest friend. And Ochako just looked up at their booth, and smiled, before giving them a thumbs up. Izuku smiled back and returned the gesture. Kaboom! A sound so loud that it drowned out even the screams of thousands of people. The sounds of multiple explosions going off across the entire city. The ground shook as if a small earthquake was going off, and everyone went silent. Smoke could be seen rising in the distance, and those higher above could even see buildings collapsing in the distance. Shock washed over the now silent masses, as everyone stared up at the rising smoke with their mouths hanging open. Everyone please remain calm. Present Mike said after half a minute. It appears that something has happened outside of the arena. Do not panic, and remain in your seats. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX Meanwhile down below, the crowd started to look worried, while many of the heroes among them sprung into action, running, jumping, or even flying out of the arena, toward the various sites of the explosions. This included All Might and Endeavor, who immediately headed out of the arena to help out. BRRRRRRR. BRRRRRRR. Huh? Present Mike pulled out his phone and saw that Nizu was calling him. Sir? Tell the heroes not to leave. Nizu ordered him urgently. And evacuate the civilians. What? Present Mike was stupefied. Why did he need to tell heroes not to do their job? Certainly, there were people in need of help at the sites of those explosions. It's all a trap, Nizu explained. We need to dash. Scum. Suddenly, everything went out. Phones, lights, everything powered by electricity simply shut down. Ah, shit. Present Mike said as he looked down at his now useless phone. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX students following suit. I don't know, maybe it's another villain attack? Ochako looked up at Izuku's booth. Meanwhile, Izuku stared up at the rising smoke, with a scowl. Sorry, Giza. Get ready. Caretaker, what's happening? Kiba asked, getting a bit nervous. She wasn't exactly in the condition to fight. Izuku didn't answer, instead heading over to his suitcases, and opened up the larger one. Inside was a rifle, and a few cartridges of ammo. Big brother? Inu gave her brother a concerned look as he pulled the gun out of the case, and put the ammo up his sleeve. You brought a gun? Netsu gasped, looking at the modified rifle in shock. Don't worry, it's not a normal gun, Izuku assured them. I'm not gonna kill anyone, I just need to be ready. Ready for what? Alice asked, looking scared. And then a giant shadow appeared over the stadium. Everyone looked up and saw a massive warp gate open over the arena. Then, slowly a building-sized purple starfish descended from the portal, with a massive eye in its center, staring down at all the people in the arena. And while everyone looked up at in shock, holes opened up in the starfish, and hundreds of smaller starfish shot out of them, down onto the people below. Ah! Screams rang out among the crowd, as the starfish rained down from the sky, landed on people's faces, as others tried to run. Izuku looked over the pure chaos that going on in front of him. He held his weapon close to his chest. It seems like once again, he hadn't prepared enough. Back at the Midoriya Foundation, Nise and Fuku were watching some anime in Fuku's room, while enjoying some desserts. You need to teach me how to make these, Nise said with an elated face, thoroughly enjoying a cookie Fuku had made. Sure. You should taste the cookies Mr. Sato made, they were even better. Fuku told her, before turning back to the TV, and frowning. Why do they always do this misunderstanding thing? It's so annoying. I know right. Nise quickly agreed. Shum. Suddenly, everything went dark. The TV, the lights, everything turned off. Immediately, both girls started to panic. What's going on? Fuku had to fight to keep in her gas once again. It's just a blackout. Don't worry. Nothing's going to. And then a hand slipped itself over her mouth. Then her gas filled the room.